play! And today we're going to make turkeys. I'm making a little paper turkey place card for each person at my table for Thanksgiving. And today we're going to make Tom, since my husband's name is Tom. And this might just be a Tom turkey. So hope you enjoy, and I will include a free pattern attached below. You can also go to my website, bluebirdysky.com, and get the free pattern if you want to make some yourself. Now I'm sketching a little sign between his wings, and that will be the place that I write the name for each place setting. So I'll be making a lot of these little turkeys. And then I'm going to start coloring, as you can see, with some markers. And my process is going to be similar to my usual process. Lots of layers, markers, paint, gelatos, gesso, heavy body white, pencils. There's no set way to do this. Just color them the way you see them. If you want a great activity for the kids' table, I highly suggest that you don't glue them on the stand that we're going to eventually make for him, that you just leave them flat. Go ahead and write their names on their turkey and put a basket of crayons at their table. If they're going to be sitting with the whole family, just put a little table someplace in the corner while the adults are socializing. The kids can color. It's usually a fun activity in our family. Even some of the teenagers join in sometimes. You can see here now that I'm lifting some of the paint from his head and brushing it onto the back of his feathers, mostly to clean my paintbrush out, but also it adds interesting shading, believe it or not, even though it's the lower layer. You can see there was some blue that came out. And the great thing about this turkey, too, if you have a color scheme for your table, you can color him in a color scheme. My table is usually quite plain. The food does the decorating. We have white china, and we have a colorful centerpiece usually, and it's something I haven't created yet this year. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about making a big Albuquerque turkey out of a gourd or two. I have a few laying around. Or maybe we'll have a trip to the gourd farm, because I love the gourd farm. Now I'm using a brown marker to lay some more color down on his body and his wings. And you actually see I really reduced the size of my sign when I first added his wings, which is going to get edited at a little bit later date here. Because if you have someone with, Cassandra, can you imagine getting Cassandra on that little sign? So be careful when you make your signs. You may have to make them a little bit longer and spread his wings out more. I'm going to have to do that with some of the longer names in our family, like Nikolai, only we call him Nico, so that means I'm saved. So you can see I painted over his wings and expanded the sign a little bit. And for longer names, you're going to have to really expand the sign. I'm adding some paint now on top to give him a little more rich color. going to be on top of his body there too. And I'm still putting his wings too far in, and I think I actually changed that yet again. Happy mistakes, right? Happy mistakes. You know, it's funny that when I say that, a lot of us talk about, happy mistakes, and my favorite thing is take lemon and turn it into lemonade. Truth of the matter is, I used to stress that everything had to be so perfect and no mistakes could be made. And now, I just kind of laugh when a mistake happens and say, okay, how am I going to fix that or hide that? Generally, it's hiding that. Don't stress it. Have fun. It's art play. So I'm adding, his feathers are all darkened, and I'm now adding some yellow and some gesso and some heavy body white, and I ended up putting a little orange in it, I believe, and some really greenish teal eventually as well, just to make his feathers have a little more dimension. And I'm dabbing. I'm not doing a lot of smooth painting. I'm not sure why. Do we always have to have a reason why? Just because I felt like it. And I'm using a water-soluble pencil to actually define some of the areas a little more. And you can see there his wattle is quite pink now, but we'll get to that eventually. And I've widened his sign yet again. And I have a feeling that I'm still going to widen it. We'll see. So, we're getting near the end here. I'm just dabbing colors on. And you see I'm painting his wattle red. I'm going to add some of that red to the back of the bird on his feathers. I was kind of going for a pine cone effect, and I think I kind of managed it. When my kids were little, they loved to make the pine cone turkeys to set on the table, and we'd stick our names in those every year. It was always fun to go out and collect pine cones. And I tell you, I love the holiday season, going into all the stores that sell the scented pine cones. It just drives me crazy, makes me want to make pumpkin pie. But that's coming soon, isn't it? So I darkened his eyes a little. I'm adding some blue to the edges of him, just to give him some interest. And randomly, everything with me is random. And he'll be ready to cut out here shortly. And then you're going to see the block that I'm going to glue him on. If you need as many of these as I do, what you might want to do is actually copy them onto cardstock. This one was done on a piece of watercolor paper, but you might want to copy them onto cardstock. You can also reduce them a little bit so you can put 2 on a page, and then all you have to do is cut out. See, in my house, for our holiday people, we could have 30 people or more. And in fact, there's so much work that goes on the week of our holiday party. We have to move our living room furniture and make our dining room into a sitting room in this house, because this is a pretty small house. And we set up the folding tables and chairs in the living room, which is kind of nice really, because it's by the fireplace and whatnot. We have a sitting room right outside the kitchen then for social hour. These are the little cubes now, see, and they came with the sticks. I think it was 24 that I got for $3.99 at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just using the paint that I have left over there on my palette to color it with. What I did was I stuck a little glue from the glue gun down in the hole of the cube, and you'll see over there on the right, there's a glob of glue gun glue. I squirted some out on the paper, and I stuck the stick in it too so that there was glue on both objects, and stuck it down the hole. And make sure that you hold it flat down so that it actually will sit. If you're not careful, you could end up with a bumpy bottom. And I just stuck some hot glue on the back of the bird and stuck my little stick on it. I'm going to add some more hot glue to make sure it's pretty well adhered. Now, if you want to be really fussy, you can cover the back of it by just cutting some more feathers out, you know, like just the back piece. And you see, I really quickly painted the back. I didn't do quite as much detail, and then I ran some pencil lines over it just to give it a little bit of detail. I'm not going to be fussy. I have too many to make myself, but you can, you know, copy them and do just that on the back. And then I used a pencil to scrape some of the glue off because there was too much. So here's Mr. Tom Turkey, or in my family as we call turkeys, Albuquerque turkey. And see, he'll sit up right by a place, and everybody will know where to sit. Hope you have a great turkey day. Please make sure you watch all the other videos and visit bluebirdysky.com and Bluebirdie Sky on Facebook. Bye-bye.